What's up? What's up? What's going on? So this Dave, I'm gonna give a couple more minutes, see if somebody's gonna just pop in. I'm gonna talk about credit repair. Talk about my 25% off Memorial Day sale, and I'm gonna be talk about charge-offs and collections a little bit. You don't know me? I'm Dave, a credit repair specialist from Dave's Consumer Law Solutions. I've been studying repaying credit for about 5 years now. Started on this journey by repairing my own credit. And if you don't know about that, you can use credit to create wealth. It's not just for emergencies. So let me see what free game get y'all. If y'all don't know already, I also got a free credit repair guide. Link is in my bio. Maybe you click the link and it say something about free credit repair guide. I got the PDF version and the PowerPoint version because some people have problems accessing other format, so I made a PDF version. So. Now, first, what is credit? What is credit? Credit is when an underwriter looks at your credit report and sees it's like a report card. They want to see your ability to repay a debt. How have you been repaying the debts that you already have, and how thick is your profile? So are you responsible enough to maintain these accounts, and do you have a thick amount of accounts? So you should have 10 to 15 accounts. So you want to have credit cards, a few retail cards, an auto loan, and a personal loan. I heard someone say you don't need a mortgage, but I'm pretty sure if you had a mortgage, it would make it better. So that's your credit mix. You want to have a good credit mix. You want to make sure you pay all your bills on time, so you don't want not one missed payment. You don't want no derogatory marks like collections, charge-offs. Bankruptcy is the number one thing you do not want. You can remove that also. So you want to clean up your personal credit as well as building it at the same time. So the way I dispute or repair credit is by using factual disputing with consumer law. Factual disputing is looking at the facts of your consumer report, seeing what inaccuracies are there. So if you look at your consumer report, first you have to get your consumer report from annualcreditreport.com. You shouldn't use the credit monitoring service to get your first credit report. Credit monitoring services are just used to monitor your credit, to make sure that you don't, make sure that no one using your credit fraudulently, and make sure, and just to monitor, make sure if your points are going up, or if an account has brought your points down. So that's what credit monitoring is for. Monitor your credit. If you want to start repairing your credit, you want to go to annualcreditreport.com and they give you a free credit report every week now. It used to be once a year, now it's every week. So you could always get a free credit report and see what's on your credit report before you start the disputing process if you're doing this on your own. Now the sections I use the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That is for charge-offs, bankruptcies, things of that nature. Now, but basically for everything except collections. Collections, you will use the FDCPA, the Fair Credit and Debt Collections Practice Act. So that's telling you what the collection agency can or cannot do. So let's see what else. Now, just talking about on your consumer report, you want to make sure your payment history is 100%. So payment history makes about 35% of your whole credit report. So you want to make sure you pay all your shit on time. If you do have a late payments can be removed from your consumer report also. Everything's about factual dispute and leveraging consumer law. Because there are 5 things that must happen before a payment can be deemed late. So you want to make sure your personal info is correct. Your personal info, you can't have multiple names on your personal info, your consumer report. Because if you're going for funding, you're going to a lender for funding, they're going to look at all these names and it's going to be like, why does he or she have all these names on her consumer report? Like, it doesn't look right. So you need one name across all 3 consumer reporting companies. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. One name, one address, one phone number, and one employer. You don't even really need the employer, but if you're going to put employer down there, make sure it's just one. It's all about collections. You want collections, you gotta have collection removed. Inquiries, you don't want a gang of inquiries on your shit. You could get inquiries removed also. You can get anything removed from your consumer report if I haven't stated that already. Collections. Now inquiries. The most inquiries you should have in your consumer report is 3. That's at the most. Really should be 2, but 3 you pushing it, you know what I'm saying? So 3 inquiries across all 3 consumer reporting agencies, companies. All your information on your consumer report must be accurate. Even the consumer law 15 U.S.C. 1681 EB says that consumer reporting companies must ensure maximum accuracy on our consumer report. So maximum accuracy to me means 100% accurate. Even though it doesn't say 100% accurate verbatim, maximum to me is 100%. So they must ensure 100% accuracy. So if anything you find is inaccurate or unverified, it must be promptly deleted according to consumer law. But we know they don't do that. That's why they've been sued by CFPB, Equifax, and Experian. And TransUnion has been sued in the past also. So TransUnion has been sued also. There's case laws on charge-offs, method verification. Yeah, if you go to pacer.gov or pacer.gov, I made a video. I didn't make a video, no, I made a repost on it about this guy who's saying that if you want to take the consumer reporting companies to court, you go to pacer.gov and you can see actually how people just like me and you have won cases against the consumer reporting companies in the past, and that'll give you like a framework on, you know what I'm saying, how to beat them. Me myself, I'm actually learning how to sue. I was kind of against it at first, thought it took too much work, but I want to get to the point where I'm sending less rounds of letters, and then after the third letter, if they don't comply with what I'm demanding, then I will be taking them to court. Then we don't have time to keep on playing with the consumer reporting company, man. We gotta get our credit right, so we go get funding and build wealth. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so under the FCRA, I believe it's 15 U.S.C. 1681I, ensures that all information must be accurate. No, if it's unverifiable, it must be deleted. Like I said before, 15 U.S.C. 1681 EB ensures all information on consumer report must be accurate. So they must ensure maximum accuracy when reporting these accounts and inquires everything on our consumer report. The FDCPA, there's rules that govern these collection companies. Like for example, they must within off the top of my head, within first contact of a consumer, they must let you know in writing within 5 days of the debt and so on. So it's things they have to go by, and that's how you can get your collection removed, by using that. The FDCPA is 15 USC 1692. Yeah, 1692. That's the section of the FDCPA. And if you enter this into Google, if you see Law Cornell, you want to use Law Cornell. Law Cornell is accurate, and that's why I use to read up on my consumer laws and use my consumer laws for my dispute letters. Okay, so let's see. Okay, disputing the right way. Okay, like I said, how I dispute is using factual disputing. When I look at consumer report, I'm looking for inaccuracies. Like, for example, a charge off is when a creditor be like, okay, he or she is not gonna pay, so they're gonna write it off. They get paid anyway, so they write it off between, I think, 120 days and 180 days. But after you miss the payment between 30, 60, 90, 120, 180, after that, on they supposed to charge it off. So once they charge it off, they charge it off, right? And so for their profit and loss papers. So they're gonna get paid for it anyway. And once they charge it off, they're supposed to send us a 1099-C so we can file it on our tax return. Because a charge off, once they charge it off, it's reported as ordinary income. And ordinary income cannot be reported to a consumer report. So there's many ways to get a charge off removed. If you remove the late payment from your consumer report, you get a charge off removed also. So when you repaying your credit, first thing you want to do is clean up your personal information, like I stated before. Name, the names have to be one name, one address, one phone number, one everything. Okay, you clean that up. You can use 15 USC 1681 EB, that they must ensure maximum accuracy. It's a case law. It's a case law on that. So if they say it's the address attached to account, which I've gotten before, you can just use the sweep method, or you can use the case law. After you clean up your personal information, you want to start your rounds of disputes. So your round of disputes starts off with, after you get your consumer report and you see what's on your consumer report, you want to be like, okay, I got a charge off, I got collection. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is send them a dispute, letting them know that I've seen some inaccuracies on my consumer report, right? So let me see if I can remember the top of my head. It's a section, I believe, 15 USC 1681. I think it's A, and that's the exclusion section. So you can use that and be like, in exclusion section, it says certain things that should be excluded from a consumer report. So all of these charge-offs, collection, all that should be excluded from a consumer report. So you can use that, and that like attacks everything negative item on your consumer report. If you want to break it down, maybe like, okay, I want to dispute just charge-offs. There's laws for that, like I stated earlier. Another reason you can dispute a charge-off is they're not supposed to. If you look on the consumer report and you keep on saying CO, they're not supposed to keep on charging off. Reporting a charge off every month, because a delinquent account is supposed to remove 7 years after the first being reported as delinquent. So how can you and I get a chance to remove an account if they keep on reporting it month after month? You just keep on resetting the date, and that's an inaccuracy. Okay, that's round one. So let's say round one, you got your consumer law you're using. You looked at your consumer report, you found an inaccuracy, and then you strengthen it with consumer law to dispute it. And now it comes, either they removed it or it come back verified and accurate. And that's what we hate. We hate to see that verified and accurate bullshit. Okay, so you get the verified and accurate. All right, boom. Now we're gonna send we're gonna demand. We're not gonna ask for shit. We're demanding description of procedures. That is 15 USC 1681. 1681 I want to say I 6B3. So that demands a description of procedure, or people call it a method of verification. So that's when we asking, man, how did you get this verified? Like what procedure did you use to verify this account? What creditor did you talk to? You know what I'm saying? What's the name? What's the address of the creditor? They must provide all this information once you ask a description of procedure. And a description of procedure, they have 15 days to respond to you. Okay? And then round 3, after description procedure, there'll be that's as this. You need to file a CFPB complaint after every round of letters you send. The CFPB, if you don't know, it enforces the consumer porn company to do their job. So you send one you file a complaint with them after every round, and you file a complaint with the BBB, the Better Business Bureau. You can also file a complaint with the Attorney General, unless they send you directly back to the CFPB, and you can file one with four websites: it's the Attorney General, the BBB, and the CFPB. Oh, the FCC. You can file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. Okay, so that's 4 websites they only want you to know about. Okay, so me, I will file a complaint with each one of the websites after every round I do, just to let the enforcers know that consumer porn companies are not doing their job, because they never do. I once we did that. Round 2, round 3. If you can send them round 3, and if they didn't comply after round 1 and round 2, you can send them a pre-demand or arbitration letter. Let them know you're getting ready to take it to court, or you like to go to arbitration to settle this matter before going to court. Now, if you don't know how to sue, like I don't know how to sue, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm still learning. But there are consumer attorneys that will help you in this process. So if you don't want to do it and you don't feel like keep on sending out rounds of letters, you could just get you a consumer law attorney, and that way you'll be able to get a deletion, get your shit deleted, and maybe a bag out of it. I don't know how it goes. I know you get a bag from some of the consumer porn companies, but if you get an attorney, I don't know how much they'll take from winning accuser. I don't think they'll do it for free. Okay, so you send it round 3, and now you can either, like I said, you can continue sending your rounds in with more letters. Oh yeah, another thing, when you send your letters in, what I've been doing is trying to figure out ways to make it get into a human person hand, instead of just go through Oscar and it's coming back verified and accurate all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people say, look, they don't need to do all that because they let us come back verified. I mean, their letters are getting through, they're getting results, but I want to make sure that's getting to a human person hand. So what I do is I create my dispute letter through Microsoft Word, right? And then I put a watermark, add a watermark in there. And I created a watermark through ChatGPT to tell me, hey, create me a watermark that's gonna fuck up Oscar and make them make it get into human person hands to read my dispute letter. Okay? So that's what I do. You're supposed to use red and blue ink, and change your fonts up. Anything to confuse Oscar, so it won't make it that easy to read your dispute letters. Since you dressed me in your life. God. Yeah, I just accepted your request. Being live. I know that shit work. I accepted. I don't know if you I don't know if it's accepted or not. But I just popped in the store, so I'm finna do me a little grocery shopping, and I'm gonna hop back on the live after. So yeah, I'm finna do this little grocery shopping real quick. I need to see my phone and see my list. So after that, I'm gonna hop back on the live.